To me, growing up as kids was my mother's prayers. My mom was always there as a prayer backbone. My name is Ashwin, and I am born and brought up from India. I'm raised from a very simple middle class family. And my mother is from South Africa, Durban. Indian but raised in Durban. And my dad was from India. And one of the most fascinating things in growing up as kids is to see how our family evolved. My father was a very career oriented, he was with the government in the news department, and he has done a lot of documentaries. I've seen my dad working day in, day out. But to me, growing up as kids was my mother's prayers. My mom was always there as a prayer backbone. However busy dad was, she made sure that prayer was there in the house. So that's a little backdrop of the family. And I am married to Sheba, and Sheba is a great partner. I'm so blessed to have a good wife who understands what I do. And I am blessed with 3 children. I call them Tonu, Tina, and Tanya. It's a twin. I have a boy and a girl twin. It's amazing to see how twins are raised at one time. Not identical twins, but just different, 1 minute difference. I come from parents who have always encouraged us, motivated us. I've never seen fights in my family. I've never seen a day where my dad would get angry with my mom or my mom getting angry with my dad. So in that sense, everything was okay. And one of the things my mom would always do is to ensure that that prayer focus was the key. But though I come from this background, prayer didn't really mean anything much to me, to be very honest with you. It was a routine. It came to a point where at class 11, I was not doing much. I didn't do well in grades. My grades were dropping and things like that. And it came to a point where I actually even questioned, is there a God? I mean, is God really there? Though at that age, a lot of mixed feelings. So with that backdrop and with my grades dropping, my school sent me a letter once and said that you cannot go to the next class, and we want you to exit from the school because we just don't feel that you're good enough to study here. Now that was a turning point in my life where I would actually wonder, my school doesn't want me, my teachers don't seem very good about me, my grades are not good, and even friends don't understand me. Is there somebody listening to me? Is there a God? God is in his own mysterious way dealing with me. There was just this simple verse which came up from, I don't know from where I got this. It says that I will make you a head and not a tail. And here I am where nobody wants you, and this thing came up saying, I will make you a head and not a tail. I said, how can this statement be true? I mean, how can someone make someone a head when nobody even wants them? I think that was the turning point, and I made a simple prayer and I asked God and saying, Lord, if you're really there, Jesus, and if your statement is true, I just pray that this will happen. And it's not that overnight things changed, but I could sense something different. Some kind of difference I was able to find in that simple prayer. So interestingly, the school gave me one last chance to write one more test to show my skill, and that test I cleared, finished high school, and just clearing high school was a miracle. I cleared the high school, and then when we were looking at what would we do as a career, what kind of college should I go and things like that, I had no clue God would have a master plan for me. I had no idea about how God does this master plans. I think one of the things I understood with the way we need to understand this whole paradigm of understanding who God is we got to know that He's a loving God. the first thing which I understood is He is loving. But how do I know He is loving? We got to just understand the plans He has for us is always good plans. My dad told me, why not you go and meet one of my friends who's having a large audio recording studio. Close friend there, so I went and met him. He said, what are you doing? I said, I just finished my school. I got an admission to do business studies. And so he said something very interesting. He said, why not you join the film school and then do your master's in business studies? And then my dad said, yeah, it sounds like an idea. So I applied to a film school. And very interestingly, when I applied, and there were 400 students applying like me for 10 seats. There was only 10 seats available. So I went into this room where 400 students were there, and I saw this bunch of young, nice kids, very energetic. They want to get into the movie industry. And here I am. I do not want to go into the movie industry. I just want to do studies in business. And because my dad's friend told me to go, and my dad said go, I went. Getting it was not my primary thing. But attending, I just wanted to attend the interview. So just to tell my folks that I went there, I attended it, it's done. I was something like a cool cat, like this talking, saying, I don't care what you guys think. And they asked me a few questions, I just answered, and I came out. And within 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I get a letter saying that I'm selected. I'm one among the 10 to go and study the film school. Now I said, where is this coming from? But I remembered that verse. It's very interesting. Whenever I have a turning point, I remember the verse which I saw many years back. I will make you a head and not a tail. So that verse came as a flash. And after joining the film school, I understood God has good plans for us. And what I mean by that is why I say that is because after I joined the film school, within 4 months' time, my father came to us and said, I think something is changing in the work environment I am, and we are going to soon start a television studio. And we're going to take a bank loan, and we're going to start a television studio. I've been working with the news department, but I think I need to come out of it, and we're going to start a television studio. And we are naming it Good News Television. So that's how the name Good News came. And because I was in the film school, my dad said, we want you to be as the core person managing the studio. My dad was a visionary. He always had this entrepreneurship thing, We ventured into a studio called Good News Television. We took a bank loan. One of the first things I remember signing was signing bank loan papers. Here you are, the new college, studying media, and within 3-4 months, you're starting up a television studio. And you just knew that there was a journey which God is taking you into. But in this journey, I understood something. I stuck back to the verse where I just held that verse which says, God has good plans. So we started the studio. We had a few friends, my dad's friends as partners, each put money, but we were the prime, we were running the studio, so we put more money. We mortgaged our house, and we were running the studio called Good News Television. What happened was technology changed. Technology changed. When we applied for the studio, we were the 14th studio. By the time the loan came, by the time we were running, we were the 64th studio in the city. So the demand for the studio, demand for the market was less. Our projections fell flat. In other words, we could not pay the bank loan. And it was tough. And I remember the bank manager, by this time it was about 9-10 months, almost 1 year. And I remember the bank manager calling me and said, Ashwin, you guys are not paying. And he said, if you don't pay, we're going to mortgage your home. And that's the time I remembered, yes, we gave the house as a collateral, the house we were living. I just didn't know what to do. Again, I was back in that silent prayer. God, are you there listening? I was supposed to do study business and go into masters in business. Something happened, I joined the film school. And then something happened, I'm running a studio. And then something happened, I'm bankrupt. So it's too dramatic. Again the same verse, I will make you a head and not a tail. The question was, how do I believe that statement? I will make you a head and not a tail. Everything around me looks like I'm losing. And then a flash came and said, I have good plans for you. I said, nothing seems to be good coming out, you know. It seems to be a problem after problem after problem. My dad's friends who invested little bit money with my dad came and told my dad, you know what, we want our money back. We rented a house, and in the house we had the studio. We had the acoustics done and all this, and we spent a lot of money on the acoustics to get the studio going. The house owner comes to us and he tells us, I want the house back. So one side we had a bank problem, one side we had friends who said they are friends, but we want our money back, and one side I was almost going to be kicked out. And at the age of 19, I received my first lawyer's notice from the house owner asking me to vacate the studio. And again a flash came. I have good plans. Nothing good was there. It was problem after problem. But then what did we do? My mother, with tears, we would pray. Every time something discouraging will come, it says, I have good plans. We told the owner of the building, said, sir, give us few months more and we'll vacate. We had no clue where we'll go. We called the partners and we said, sir, give us few months, we'll give you back the money. And then we had this few months breathing time. One of our clients, he came into our studio to use our studio. So I was with a bunch of students and I was explaining them a little bit about how studio works and all. And this guy saw that and he said, Ashwin, what are you doing? He said, sir, I'm teaching some students, some graduates, basically some students who are studying media, and just telling them what happens inside a studio. Then he said, would you be interested if I invest in a place for you guys where we can run a television school? This was in 97. And he said, I'll invest into a place, and we can this place is too small. I'll get you a place, and why not you run the school for me? And he actually gave us a full building, and he invested money into a large place, and we had a brand new studio, and we also had a film school where I was heading a course. It was another journey from there to running a media school. And then my dad gets this brilliant idea, and he said, our company's name is called Good News Television. So why not we go to the commercial TV guys and buy non-prime time from them, because prime time is expensive. And then we package that time, and then we can go to the churches and ministries and say, we'll help you produce the content. To the TV station, they get content. To us, we get paid because of the production, and ministries are happy because they also want production to be done. Low cost production, but high volume. And we got into that, and we started to produce content. We went to the TV station, bought time from them, and then we went and packaged that time to different ministries. Soon, seven ministries became 14, 14 became 24, and it expanded. With that money, we were able to pay the bank loan, pay the partners, clear off everybody. And again, the flash came. I have good plans for you. So God used us from 1996 to 2005 to launch out in several churches, several ministries used our platform called Good News Television to reach out to the masses through television. But God taught us that it's only through a challenge will you really know how good I am. So that was the lesson we learned. And then came the larger plan. 2005, we said, why not we launch our own TV network? When one door closes, many people say they have another door. But I don't believe much in that statement. There's always a passage which we have to walk between a closing of a door and the opening of a door. And it's that passage which he's expecting us to walk faithfully. The television network is called Subhavarta, which means good news. It was a Telugu station. Now we don't speak the Telugu language, but we launched a Telugu network. It was a pioneering movement then, the first of its kind ever for a simple family to start a TV network. And that became a household name, reaching over 40 million people in that region. And we applied for a second license in the language of Hindi called Shubh Sandesh, which again means good news. And God opened that window. And 2012, we launched our second network. And in the meantime, we were across the nation. We were able to pay the cable operators. More ministries came on board. Then our third network in 2015 with a Tamil station. called Nambikai, which means hope. So we launched the third network, and then 2016 an English network called Good News. So we now, by the grace of God, are operating 4 television network, and now we are looking at working on our 5th network in the language of Bengali. Our vision is so short-sighted. Our vision is so short-sighted. We want God to do it now in our terms, but God doesn't work like that. God works in His terms, and that's what I've learned in my experience in my life, in my journey. But it started off with my mother's prayers. A praying mother and a visionary father. So that's my journey of understanding who God is. And that's the journey of the good news. We don't come from any background. In fact, we don't have a background. But God is not interested in our background. God wants to see what is in front of us. And God is willing to work with people who say, Lord, with whatever I have, I'm willing to step forward. Therefore, I say, God has good plans.
God is love, and love comes from God. In 1 John, the Bible tells us that God is not only all-loving, but that He actually is love itself. The heart of the Parent Compass television show is to bring the transforming love of God to families everywhere. In every Parent Compass episode, true stories reveal family struggles and how their lives were radically changed by the love of God. Parent Compass, an award-winning television series, is completely funded by people like you. If you have been touched by God and you want to share God's love to others, would you please pass it on? Jesus tells us to go into all the world and to tell about Him. With your donation, you allow us to take this television show into many different nations and in many different languages, free of charge. And a portion of your donation goes to Parent Compass Outreach to feed starving children. Your gift does so much. To make your tax-deductible gift, go to parentcompass.tv/donate. That's parentcompass.tv/donate. And thank you for sending love and hope around the world.